The life of Noach may have some vital information for you and I to use and apply during our day of world upheaval and corruption. Hi, this is Barry Phillips with 10-Minute Torah, day number 3 of Torah portion Noach. A personal note here. At the time that this video is being released to be viewed, my wife Laura will be coming home from the hospital having had knee replacement surgery. And your prayers for her quick and complete total recovery is very much appreciated. So thank you for praying for my wife Laura. Now, continuing. Yah says that the end of all flesh has come before me, for the earth is filled with violence through them, and see, I'm going to destroy them through or from the earth. And then he says in verse 14, out of the blue, make yourself an ark of gopher wood. And he starts giving instructions concerning the blueprints of this ark. In the movie, years ago, there was a movie that was made concerning this, and the actor portraying Noach was in a carpenter's shop. And hearing the instructions, he moves some things away on his table there, and he starts writing down the dimensions and the instructions. There's a different vantage point and viewpoint to find after they come out of the ark. Noach does not continue in the construction business, but rather he operates as a man of the soil. He plants a vineyard. So it could be that Noach was not a carpenter at all, that he didn't really build anything, but rather he was a man who was a planter, a farmer. I'm not saying a farmer can't build. Many of them are multi-tasked and very capable of doing whatever is necessary. But it would seem possible to me that Noach was called to operate outside his comfort zone at his first occupation. That is, that not really being a builder, he was nonetheless called to be a builder. Interesting. In the book of 2 Corinthians, chapter number 12, Rosh is saying, this thorn in the flesh thing that you've allowed to remain for me, I've sought you to take it away, and you said no. Verse 9, he says, he said to me, my favor is sufficient for you, for my power is perfected in weakness. Most gladly, then, I shall rather boast in my weakness, so that the power of Messiah rests on me. And then verse 10, therefore I take pleasure in weakness and insults and needs and persecution and distresses for the sake of the Messiah. For when I'm weak, then I am strong. So, applying this principle to Noach, his weakness may be he didn't know how to build anything. But in Messiah, in the gifting and calling of Yah, there is also included the capability to get the job done. So let's understand it this way. Whatever Yah calls you and I to do, there is inherent in the calling, included with it, the capacity, the ability, the anointing to get the job done. In our weakness, we serve him, not just in our strengths. We look at someone, we see their obvious gifting and ability, and we would wonder, why isn't the Father using them in that strength? Rather, he may choose their weakness, the place that they struggle, because in their obedience, in the place of weakness, the weakness is transformed from weakness to strength. Yah has a great way of doing things. So let's understand then that obedience is not merely accomplished by doing whatever it was called of us to do, but by first hearing. Obedience begins with Shema. to hear, to listen. When we hear the voice of Elohim, and when we have taken that voice inwardly and we put it within us, we hide or we treasure that voice, that speaking, that command in us, and it becomes a part of us. Then we walk out that calling in obedience. Rather than simply hearing, do this, we do it and forget about it. Or that we start well, but we don't finish. If you're like me, there are some tasks that we got started. We started well, but we didn't finish very well because, well, they're still halfway done. I say that to my own hurt. So, Yah is calling you and I to finish what we started, relying on the power and the capability that He gave us, because He didn't just give us enough authority, power, capacity, enabling grace to start the job, but also enough to finish the job. And thankfully, Noach didn't just start building the ark, he completed the task. Now, let's look at the ark itself. It says that Noach was to cover the ark within and without with tar, or another translation is pitch. Now, obviously, this serves as a water repellent or a sealing commodity. In the Hebrew, it says that he is to kafar, finish, or cover it. The word kafar means also to make atonement or reconciliation, and it's the root word where we get kippur, such as Yom Kippur, or the Day of Atonement. So the ark was to be a vessel sealed an atonement or reconciliation. And then there's the phrase, do it within and without. The Hebrew really doesn't say within and without. What it does say is bechutz, or the houses outside. So Noach is to make atonement with pitch outside the house. If you remember, Yah is the one who shut the door. If it had been left up to Noach, then he may have been opening the door to rescue those that were crying out of the boiling sulfuric waters that were flooding the earth. But Yah shut the door, and once it was shut, though they knocked, he said, I don't know you, depart from me, you workers of lawlessness or Torahlessness. Those of you who do injustice or damage or violence to the Torah of my word. Now, the influence of you and I having a house of atonement, having that mezuzah on the door, the word of Yah tilted toward the inside so that the favor and blessing of Yah would flow within. It's not only that it should be effective on the inside, but also on the outside, that in our neighborhood, you and I would be known as a house of atonement, a house of refuge, a house of shalom, a place of healing, a place of restoration. And then, of course, let's look at the ark itself and the numbers. It says that, let me get to this here, it is to be 300 cubits. 300 is the numerical value of kofar, or ransom, and also of kapar, which is forgiveness. It's the root word for the word kapara, or offering of atonement. Its width is 50 cubits. 50 is the numerical value of the word la'ach, which is for you. And it also represents the letter nun, which can mean the heir in his kingdom. And the height is 30 cubits, the numerical value of the word vakata, and he shall purify. Also, hakha, or was dead. And then the numerical value for vayachaya, I will make you alive. So we have the idea of atonement. We have the idea of purification and forgiveness, the heir in his kingdom, the one who was dead, the one who makes alive. It could suggest to us that the ark is about the atonement, the purification, the forgiveness for you, from the heir of the kingdom who was dead, but he now makes alive. Interesting. We'll talk more tomorrow. Till then, shalom.